is where we finished off. So 35, so we're going to start again.
So number 50, go through number 50 and all that.
Real quick.
Sure, I'm just going to pull it all up, share the screen again, Sam, so we're good to go.
Okay.
So at number 50, we have the Toyota Celica Coupe A20, A30, not a hatchback. At 49, we have the Honda CRZ.
CRZ.
Yeah.
Or
And
maybe
Coupe.
CRZ to our American friends.
That's right.
48, the Suzuki Swift Sport.
Fine little car.
47, the Lexus RCF, which you'll hear more of later today.
Oh, wonderful.
The Mitsubishi FTO comes in at number 46. At 45, it's the Honda Beat. 44, the Honda bracket Acura Integra.
Thank you for the bracket.
43 is the Toyota Supra, better known as the A70.
A70 version, yeah.
42 is the Subaru SVX.
Subaru here in the US.
Mm-hmm.
At 41, we have the Honda Civic Type R FD2. 40 is the Infiniti G Coupe or Q60. 39 is the Mazda RX-8. 38 is the Toyota GR Yaris. 37, the FC Mazda RX-7. And where we finished last time was 36 with
The Z.
Nissan 350, 370, soon to be whatever it is. Zetka.
Z prototype.
Taro, you were a little surprised that this came in at this low, right? This
I
car.
was.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there are other people put it up somewhere, but okay.
This is Sam's list, though.
This is my
we
list.
had absolutely
guys,
no input.
Yeah, exactly.
Creating this list.
Yeah, that's right. There should be a little. You guys should put a little message
disclaimer.
Disclaimer saying,
any
questions? My
questions
opinions only.
Any questions about who doesn't like this list, please direct them to Sam Matani.
Exactly.
Any questions about what is and what is a hatchback, please direct them to Sam Matani because he is wrong about what a hatchback is.
This list does not represent Podspeed's view.
Oh, yes, it does. No, we are Podspeed. Come on.
No, it represents
you got to
Sam
remember. You got to
Matani.
remember. You got to remember. I do consider as one of my categories that where I pick these is historical significance, right? So where are they historically, significant in?
Well, that's kind of why I think the 36 Nissan 350 and 370Z was a little low.
Okay, no, that's all right. That's totally fair. I mean, I could totally understand what you're saying too. So, but I had to rank them somehow. So
anyway, he just takes your ideas, Taro, and discards them to the side, is what Sam is saying. He doesn't listen to me at all anyway. So what are you talking about?
I listen to you a lot. Okay, so
all right,
anyways.
35.
Number 35 is the Toyota MR2, the W10, the first generation one. The one that people say looks like a transformer car. And the reason I really like this car when it came out is this was really a car that really felt, and I actually drove it, when I was at Road and Track. It came out it came out, oh no, it ended right before I joined Road and Track, but I was able to drive it, and it was really just a hoot to drive. Not very powerful. Only had like 112 horsepower. I think other countries had 130 horsepower. It wasn't turbocharged, and what did it do? Like 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, now almost 9 seconds, but it was really fun to drive. And yeah, the looks, I wasn't, it looked like back then it was, the Transformers, looked like it was going to like one of the Transformer cars, something that comes out in the Japanese anime or something. But this thing was really cool. In 1988, for the US market, there was a supercharged engine for this car. So, and that, brought horsepower up to 145 horsepower. And that's the car I would, put here in this category. So number 35 is the Toyota R2. And you guys are probably a little too young to remember this car, correct?
Oh, I remember this car.
Do you?
I remember this car.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. Okay.
What
did you guys think when you guys, did it cross your radar or?
Oh, it totally did. I loved the look of this car.
Oh, you did?
Came out. Yeah.
Little
I liked it. It was a little compact, so I never thought about actually owning one.
Mhm.
But no, I totally remember this car, and there were a lot of them driving around Tokyo. I remember at the time.
Oh, were they? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
Japan, they were
I
popular, huh?
saw a lot of them. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
actually
So
saw
you
a
were
lot of them.
Japan when this. That's cool.
Hmm.
So this car is very popular with Nigel McKeon. He's a big fan of this vehicle.
I
I
love it.
like. There's two main things that I like about this. I really, really enjoy the name of this vehicle. It's the mid-engine recreational two-seater, and
That's
they
right.
decided to, shorten it. I don't understand why. I thought that would have been a great car name to go with. Toyota mid-engine
Mhm.
two-seater recreational would have just rolls off the tongue in any dealership. I also like the fact that this, on the aftermarket side, came with a twin charger. So it was supercharged and turbocharged on the aftermarket, which I thought was great.
That's true. That's true. You remember it well. I'm impressed. And one of my dear friends who's passed away a few years ago, who's to me Mr. Lotus, after of course Colin Chapman and all that, is Mr. Roger Becker, who was one of the engineers there, and he was a dear friend of mine. He went well while he was with Lotus. Lotus helped with the suspension tuning of this car. So.
Hmm.
That's another reason why it handled so well. And yes, it was rear wheel drive. So yeah.
Did you get to drive this car on the track or just around
No, just
around
yeah, I
home?
didn't get to drive this one on the track. So
Hmm.
yeah, I was still So but with that 145 horsepower engine, it's 0 to 60 went from like what was it, like almost 9 seconds to 6.5. So
Hmm.
it became kind of a zippy rocket, and it
Yeah.
sets the stage for the second generation MR2, which I really like too. So, so this is the W10. This is the one that started it all. And I think it was really cool of Toyota to kind of take the risk to make a two-seat, quick little lightweight, compact sports car like this. It's
Yeah.
a two-seater, and that's why it is at number 35.
Yeah, this is the golden age of Japanese sports cars, though.
Start to get, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It really
they had
is. Yeah.
Japanese economy was booming, and there
Right.
was the big bubble, and the companies just had a lot of money to do the things that they wanted to do, and let their designers have fun, and
Right. Right.
come out with like really interesting concepts.
Yeah, the
I think a lot of
Hachiroku, the first Hachiroku was kind of like that too. It wasn't like a perfect car, but dude, rear wheel
Yeah.
drive, the way it drove, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that's just, yeah. And hopefully Toyota's coming back to that, especially with the CRS GR
Hmm. Yep.
and the Corolla GR that we're talking about. So okay, so now going to number 34. We have a classic, and I hope you guys don't remember this car because it is way before our time.
I was going to say, isn't this around your time, Sam?
It's before my time. So, anyways, this is the Honda.
You were already born, though.
Let's see, 1966. Maybe not. I don't know, but so with the Honda S600. And there was the S800 too. I just kind of clumped it together, and there really is this Honda S500 also, which was introduced a year before. But I put in the S600 because it was the one I've seen, and I actually drove this a long time ago. I think at Motegi, so which was really cool.
When you say you drove it a long time ago, a long time, is that when it was released, Sam? Is that what you mean by a long time
in
ago?
1972.
Yeah.
Nope.
Or 71? Is that what you say?
It was a classic vintage car. Nope. So, anyways. So this car, it's kind of, I would say, hey Tara, wouldn't you say this would be, and James, wouldn't you guys say this would be the kind of the predecessor to the S2000?
Of course.
Yeah.
So of course.
Is this the S600? Is this the one that has the motorcycle setup of sorts?
What do you mean?
It's kind of based on with the engine layout kind of thing, where it's sort of driven that way, or am I getting it mixed up with another Honda?
It could be the S500 you're talking about, but why I chose the S600 instead of the S500 was the S600 was the first mass marketed Honda car ever, and it was the first offered only in right-hand drive. So
okay,
yeah, and then it became available in left-hand drive afterwards, right? So that's why, to me, it's historically significant.
But it's only historically significant to put it up at 34, right, Sam? It's not more historically significant to go higher.
Well, there's so many cars in this, but Honda built 3,900 of these cars in '64 and built 7,200 later. So I mean, in '65. So the S600 became a really popular car. And if you ask me, this is the car, and I do agree with you, James. I don't know if it's officially it, but really kind of took their motorcycle, sporty motorcycle knowledge into cars, and really set the stage for Honda sports cars to come. So, and then in 1966, I think they brought out the S800, which is the car you see in this photo, and that production continued all the way to 1970. So it's very, very, very historically significant car, very cool car. Taro, did you, or James too, have you guys been to Motegi and seen this car, or have you guys seen this car in the flesh?
Yeah.
I've seen one in the flesh, but I haven't I haven't had the chance to drive it at Motegi, Sam, like you.
Oh, okay.
You're showing off just again.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
rubbing it in.
I've never driven one, but I've seen several of them.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting story there. We went to the little island off of Vancouver, Victoria Island or something like that in
I
Canada.
don't know what on earth were you doing there?
Well, there's a Mercedes SL restorer guy up there that we went to cover for a Japanese magazine a couple of years ago, and he had a nice collection of cars, and he had a beautiful like 3 of these things, like S800s in his garage. And I remember seeing it, and it was like in mint condition, and it was the best looking S800 I've ever seen. I've seen a couple like in Japan at like tracks and stuff like that, but this was like in like perfect condition, and it was beautiful.
Wow.
It was random finding, and I was like, man, I wish I could just take it home with me, but couldn't. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you find these things sometimes, and they're great little cars. I love them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the next car is an odd car, but if you ask me, it's pretty historically significant. At number 33, we have the Toyota Sports 800, which I think is a really odd, it's an odd looking car, and it's an odd car in general to me, but it is a sports car. And I kind of dig it because it is odd, and it is revolutionary in a few respects. It is front engine and rear wheel drive. And as you can see, this car, I think it came out before the Porsche 911 Targa Top. I think this was the very first Targa Top car ever. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So
really,
didn't
we see one of these at the Peterson when they had the Japanese car?
There. Yes, I think so. Right? Yeah, and the Sports 800, among us car nerds and stuff, we call it the Yotahachi, and the reason is Toyota's Yota, right? And then the 800 is Hachi is 8, so the Yotahachi. And what powered this car was another really oddball engine. It was a 790 cc boxer engine, so it's a flat engine, 2-cylinder, and very small, and it produced maybe about 50 horsepower, 45, 50 horsepower, something like that. So not very powerful, but it really it was very light. It's like 1,200 pounds, so it's very light. So and as you can see, it came out in 1965, so it's very old car. And if you ask me again, this car may have kind of set the stage, even looks-wise, with the 2000 GT, right? The Toyota 2000 GT, which came out a few years later, I think, and it has the kind of the same, headlight placement and all that. Of course, the 2000 GT is much bigger, much more solid of a car, but the Yota 800, I think, is one of those cars that's going to be historically remembered. Comments? I know these cars are a little too old for you guys.
Well, Taro's on mute, so we can't hear what Taro's saying. But I
Oh,
think
yeah,
All right,
we
what are you
do.
muting for?
Well, we did. I was just like looking for the video that we
Oh,
shot at the
oh, you did,
Peterson,
okay.
but we did find this car and we did shoot this car.
Oh, we did? Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I remember.
Yeah, well, you saw it in the flesh. What did you think?
I
It's
mean, you're
very
right.
small.
It is an odd looking car. It is an odd looking car.
Do you guys like how it looks, or do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's once you once you get down to this like in the 60s, I mean, it can look pretty odd, but the oddness is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I can see, the Targa could have been this Targa could have been the first one. I don't know. I
Yeah,
have no.
I think it might have been. Yeah, I don't know if the car's so small. I don't know if you could stow the Targa in a trunk or anything. You might have
Yeah.
to leave it.
If anyone
but,
knows, leave comments, please.
So, and what about you, James?
I mean, I think this takes, I don't think it's that odd. I think it takes a lot of the styling cues from maybe another Toyota sports car that's probably a bit more famous, but makes it to sort of make it more of a mass market appeal where they're able to take some aspects of that to bring it down.
Hmm.
So maybe one that James Bond drove.
Yeah,
Give
I
some
said the
inspiration to
2000
this.
GT. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that sort of takes some of those styling cues and sort of reimagines it a little bit and then takes some examples, especially where, let's be honest, where they're probably taken from small English sports car styling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's where you see the front of it kind of sort of bring it in like it's a little happy face there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You
yeah,
think
I
this
think it's
is a
cool.
predecessor to the 86?
Well, I would say the MR2, I mean,
Hmm.
it's the MR2s for the 1960s, to me, the Yotahachi. But
Mhm.
it's always been one of my, quirky oddball, favorite kind of cars. So that's why it made the list at 30.
And Taro, he likes this one much more than the Honda. That's why it's 33 and not 34.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the S? Yeah, I mean the
S800.
Honda. Yeah, guys, these are so hard to rank. But
Look, Sam, you ranked them though. That's all you. Should we go to
All right.
32?
Number
Let's go.
32.
Number 32.
Yes, we are bringing it up to the modern ages now.
Oh,
Number
no.
32.
I don't know why this car is ranked so high.
Oh man, wow! It's a little shade coming from Taro.
I just really like that old Sam's spoken about this as terrible things, and now it's coming at 32.
What are you talking about? Well,
whenever we've talked about this car, you always give it thumbs down. I'm the only one that gives it thumbs up.
Dude, but it's a pure sports car. It's hybrid. It's pretty revolutionary. Yes, I don't like it as much as the original, but I mean, it deserves to be on this list. I mean, come on, man. We got like a 600 horsepower, all-wheel drive sports car. You got to give it some credit here. So that's why it's here at number 32. It could, when you think about a 600 horsepower sports car, you would think it'd be much higher in the list of Japanese sports cars, but I put it here. I mean, come on, man! 3-liter twin turbocharged V6 engine and an electric powertrain. Their revolutionary SH all-wheel drive, drivetrain. So 9-speed dual clutch transmission. So come on, man. Come on, man. Give it some love. Taro,
this is what I tell you every time, Sam, and you're like, no, I don't like it. No, it's
well, yeah.
I
don't like the styling that much. Okay,
that's
all right, James, you go first.
I like this car. Obviously, I think it's what everyone asks for. Everyone says I'd like Honda to make a fast sports car like the NSX they make one. Everyone's like, oh, I don't like it. It's not as good as the old one. But I'm like, what do you want? It's 600 horsepower. It looks like an exotic car. It goes really fast. Exactly. It's all-wheel drive handling. What do you want? That should have been better. But you wanted it. They've delivered it, and now you're complaining pants. I like it.
Well, it's on the list.
If it's good enough for Iron Man, it's good enough for the people.
That's true. Iron Man did drive it. Taro actually gave it some shade. He didn't even. He can't believe this thing is in front of the Z.
I don't think Taro can believe it's on the list. To be honest, look at that.
What are we talking about now? What car are we talking about?
Oh, come on, Taro.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, number 32. Yeah, number 32 is okay. It's a good place for this car to be.
Wow, I don't know if that's good or bad. What's oh my god. But you're
I'm
not a
just
big
not-
fan of this car.
No, I'm just not a fan of this car.
Oh, what he's basically saying, Sam, is that he doesn't want me to give a review of this car because he's saying things to Acura that Acura is not going to want to give me this car to take out for drive when I love it so much.
Well, I mean, it's as a, actually, I don't hate the design too much of this car, though. The looks,
What don't you like about it?
it's just, well, you called it a pure sports car. I just don't think it's a pure sports car.
Well, I mean, it depends on what your definition of a pure sports car is. It's a sports car, so
Yeah,
I mean,
it is. I guess
Is
it's
this
a
a-
hybrid, so that's really not pure. It's a hybrid. I mean,
Is this a hatchback, Sam, or is this not a hatchback?
Oh God, no, it's not a hatchback. My God.
Okay, next.
Okay, yeah. Moving on. Number 31 is what we would call the predecessor to the Z car, which
Is
is
this what they call the Datsun Roadster?
Yeah, Datsun Roadster. They
Right.
call it the Roadster. They made it in a coupe form too, to let you know. But there was also before this there was a Sports 1000, right, as like the predecessor, and the Sports 1200, 1200 Sport was the first one to get the Fair Lady name, but it really wasn't a very impressive car to me. I mean, it's kind of lumpy and ugly, kind of, but this car was actually the first one that was stylish, and it was kind of the first true Datsun sports car, and it was known as the Datsun 1500 in the U.S. So it actually came here to the U.S. 1.5 liter engine, so 77 horsepower, but that's kind of the what was expected back in 1962, 63. But this car is with the Fair Lady name and everything is what led to the Z car. There was a 1600 also. There's of course the 1800 also, I think, and then the 2000 Sports 2000 was the last one in the line.
Did the U.S. get all of those versions?
Starting from 1500, the U.S. got the Datsun cars. And then in this was the 2000 came in 1970, and then of course in 1969, 1970 is when the Z car came out, and that would be the new Fair Lady. So this car really was the predecessor of the modern day Z car.
And did this car also have the Fair Lady branding as well? Or
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Yes. Yeah. This car was the Fair Lady before the Z was the Fair Lady, and then when the Z came out, the Z was called the Fair Lady. So it was the successor of this car.
I see. Yeah, I've never seen any of these cars. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Actually, I've seen them driving around on the East Coast.
Yeah, there's loads of them here in Los Angeles, Tara.
I've never seen one in the flesh in the US.
You have, Tara. You would have just walked right past it. There's lots and lots of these in Los Angeles driving around.
Really, I don't remember ever seeing any of these in the.
If you go to like the Japanese classic car show, they're there all. There's like got a whole row of them.
And I'm sorry, there doesn't seem to be an 1800. I think there was a 1500.
Oh yeah, maybe I've seen one at Long Beach, the classic car show or something.
The 1600s and the 2000s are really popular here in LA.
And what's notable about this car is even in the U.S., it made for a pretty good race car. It says it won 10 national SCCA championships. This car. So so
it was the BRE team drove these before they got the Zs.
Yeah, before the Zs came
John
out.
Motson, I think it was driving them.
So it's a cool car. It's it's kind of like the Miata before the Miata, production ended in 1970. So it's been gone for a while, but the car lives on this list as number 31. So, and I think that's 5 right there, isn't it?
That's correct, Sam. But I like to see that you're taking the Datsun Roadster over the Toyota and the Honda there. 3 good examples there in that 5, and you were like, "This is the best."
Thank you. Yeah, I think we had a good.
I think you bunched up. Yeah, I think you bunched up a lot of the classic roadsters in this.
Yeah, a lot of 2-seaters, right? Because Toyota MR2 is a 2-seater. The Honda 800, the Roadster, Acura NSX. Yeah, they're all two-seaters. So we're finally getting very pure sports cars. But, as you guys can expect that there are 4 doors and 4-seaters, still many to come on this list. So there you go. Now we've done to 50 to number 31. And starting from next one, we go 30 and under.